A common term is labor burden. I'm going to explain it, but for a more in-depth explanation, I'd recommend doing a Google search or buying a book or two from an industry expert in accounting. So labor burden is the expense that you incur over and above the salary or the hourly wage that you pay. So as an example, if you have a worker that you pay $14 per hour, their cost to you is far more than just that $14. For example, when you hire that individual, there is no way around incurring payroll costs. For example, FICA is a payroll cost. Currently, it is 6.2%, but you also have to include 1.45% for Medicare. So you're looking at a 6.65% FICA cost that you have to pay as the employer. The employee is also responsible for a portion, but this is your portion that you're responsible for. So you have your payroll costs that are included. You also have workers' compensation insurance in most states. There are a few states that you can get out of it. If you incur workers' comp insurance, then that's a percent. The reason it's a percent, just like general liability and just like any umbrella policies that you carry, the cost of workers' comp, of general liability, they fluctuate as you add employees. So your workers' comp, your general liability, they are going to be charged to you, or the rate is going to be set based on the industry that you're in and the amount of risk that that industry incurs. So in other words, the insurance company has some rate table where they've figured out their risk. So as an example, the tree care industry is far more risky than the carpet cleaning industry, and the pest control industry is far riskier than even lawn mowing because you're dealing with chemicals and pesticides and you're in the home. Based on your industry, your workers' compensation insurance, your general liability insurance will fluctuate, and they use a SIC code, SIC code, to figure this out. Then as you add workers, the insurance company incurs additional risk. Therefore, these expenses are a percent of your payroll. If you pay an individual $14 an hour, you're going to incur some additional percentage in cost for FICA, workers' comp, and general liability. If you increase their cost or their payroll to $20 an hour, these costs will go up as a percent in direct proportion. If you add a second person to your company, then these costs, again being a percent, will go up in direct relation. So the component parts of labor burden are the costs right here. There are some other things such as vacation pay and sick pay that can become part of this. I'm not an expert on any of that, so I'd recommend reading more about labor burden if you want to fully understand the subject. But when you hear the word labor burden, this is what they're referring to, and it's a cost that has to be considered in your direct costs. So if you watch my video on direct costs, then you'll know what I'm referring to. The labor burden has to be considered with the payroll amount that you pay that person. Both numbers go into your direct costs on your P&L.